pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is Brian or Kathy or Howard coming?
I know that Kathy and Howard are excused. Brian is expected, so he may be a little late.
Okay. Probably be done by
All right, so we'll go on to approval of minutes
so
for
moved.
April 1, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
Approve. So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Fred. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The next would be the budget workshop for April 1, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The budget workshop for April 7th, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Fred. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And then the special meeting, which was the adoption of the budget on April 7th, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. I have one item to add to new business on the agenda. And if you look in your packet, it is the second item. It's grant assignment certification for the state of Connecticut, 13D-38 PV Elderly and Disabled Demand Responsive Municipal Grant Program. So I would like to add that. This is a grant that we participate regionally with the Middletown Transit District, and we receive reimbursement for many of the rides that our vans provide. So every year we renew this grant through the Middletown Transit District. And I would ask that that be added as letter A under new business, and then B would be suspense list, C would be adoption of the budgets, and then D would be refund of excess payments. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I have no communications and correspondence tonight. Public comment? Yes.
Well, I want to thank the board for their, the reviewing and the discussion and, adjusting on some of the, expenditures. I have a question. For the end of the fiscal year, okay, is there a document that is, created that shows what the budget was for 2014 to 2015, okay? What it was, what the balances are in the account as of June 30th, 11:59 p.m., and what the expenditure is in the new budget.
That is done as part of the audit that is conducted, and then surely when the budget is prepared, those numbers would be entered. They're not, as you would know, they're not known as of June 30 because there are many other bills and expenditures that still have to be accounted for. So it takes several weeks before all of the dollars are actually settled out.
But the auditors were here in March. Do you get the information for?
The auditors come typically August, September to do some of the preliminary work, and then they do other visits, and then their work is all completed by, or before December 31st of, it'll be 2015, and then the presentation that's given to the selectmen was in March. But the audit itself was available and given out to the selectmen on or about first or second of the year.
Straight.
I think we need to do a review of inefficiencies in town, in order to cut down on expenses. And one of my, I don't know what the word is, but.
Thought.
those large hanging lights on the fourth floor, or the top floor of the town hall, are on 24/7, 7 days a week. That comes to, in a week, say that the building has to be lit for 9 hours a day. That is 45 hours a week that it's used. And that is 123 extra hours of continuous electricity in an empty building. My father worked for the power company, so he knows this. And one of the very common statements that was made, I work for the power company, I don't own it, turn on the lights. And then several years ago, there was an issue in relation to lighting, you know, and there was a question about we're gonna turn some of them off, and then there was the issue with Egglati Field. That is very well taken care of. And if the lights get left on one night, Sean says, give me a call in the morning, and he tracks down whoever was responsible for turning the lights off at night. So that's not a significant problem, because he has a mechanism in place to make sure that, okay, next time, make sure it usually happens when there's a transition between soccer and football and night. And then, it was my understanding at that meeting several years ago that, CL&P, now Eversource, was gonna switch out the lights to make them more effective, cheaper lights, and that hasn't been completed, and that was many years ago. And one other issue is contracts. When private contractors come in, and I'm gonna pick on one specific one, is the chip sealing that was done last, summer on Foley Road. You can see where the cracks were under the chip seal that's on the road now. And in one spot, there is a hole that comes up to, covers, is as deep as the sole on one of the shoes I use for walking. What kind of, quality can we expect from these people that we're paying money to provide these services? I mean,
Yeah, I know, Shirley had mentioned that to me, and I happened to go down there, on the road. We should take a look at it. It does not appear, if it was just done, it does not appear to be in very good shape for a road that was just chip sealed, so have maybe.
And part of that road was dug up when you did the connection for the fiber optics from the town hall to the high school. So that road was cut open.
After the chip seal?
Yes, I
Oh, okay.
believe so.
Is it-
I believe so, Fred.
Yeah.
I'll check.
Yeah.
it doesn't look.
A lot of
like
that's
it's
just-
after
this is-
it's on top of it.
A lot of that is where they do that, it's not the chip seal, it's the underneath the chip seal. So if that starts moving, chip seals is just a
But you
coating.
can see
Yeah, I'm sure,
those
well, because it
black
moved.
lines
Yeah,
from
it moved.
before.
Yep,
So
it settled, it moved.
I'm sorry, you pay for good people that are doing it should be accountable for the quality of that work. And also, there's several areas in the middle of the road, you can't see them now because, but it will, there is actually, grass and weeds growing up through the chip seal, but in the middle of the road.
Must be not getting a lot of traffic use of.
I don't know, but it just doesn't seem. I think more accountability has to be assigned. If you had your driveway done and you had that mess, less than a year after it was done, would you expect the contractor to do something about it?
As an update, the town is looking at, service and take care of and own our streetlights. We are looking into the potential for the purchase. And as that occurs, the vendors and the companies that do this look at the lights. And one of the things that they offer is the LED lights as opposed to the older mercury or other types of.
Sodium vapor, all the different ones, yeah.
Yes. So that is, they're more efficient lights and they last, the bulbs last.
In the, we've been looking at this for 8, 10 years since I've been on. And a lot of this is new technology. Like when we started looking at this, the technology wasn't there with the LEDs. They weren't bright enough. They weren't up to that kind.
Simple things like making sure that you turn the lights off.
At-
The lights in the town hall, that's the way the building is designed, and, they cannot at this point be turned off. They are also due to the fact that if someone is in the building, and it does get very dark, there is, required lighting for egress, and there are rules, which I'm not going to quote because I'm not the fire marshal or the building official, but there are certain requirements associated with a public building in terms of proper egress. And that is something that I think that was considered when the building was renovated. But we can certainly speak with, a building official and the fire marshal.
But when you walk past the building or on a Saturday, you see the lights on.
The time is
the
now
fluorescent
7:45.
lights
The
on
Portland Library will be
in the
closing in
third
15
grade
minutes.
classroom. That, or in
They can
second
certainly
grade
be
camp.
upgraded, and it is
Just
something
need
that we
a
are looking
switch,
at.
isn't there a switch in the room, you go out, you close, turn the switch on? I mean,
Some of them can be, and some of them,
Are hardwired, so I
yep,
believe.
they are.
Some of them are hardwired. We can't do it right now because of the way the system is, just the way it is. And we looked at that, I think that's another thing, that it costs more to retrofit it than it would be to
So that's
what
why
we're
we're looking
saving.
at.
That's why we're doing what we're
energy
doing
efficiency
now.
is what we're doing.
It's like the elevator light never goes out. You just can't do anything about it, The elevator light's on all the time. There's a lot of little things like that, little nuisance we have to work on. Oh, we're working on it all the time.
but, I mean, when you.
It's good that you
see
bring
a
it forward.
building,
It's good that you bring it
it's
forward, so we
all
keep
been
working on it.
Basically 9 hours, 7 days a week, and 123 hours a week, you have lights going on in the building that you're paying for electricity, that the taxpayers are paying for electricity in a building that's not being used. And you take that 123 extra hours of power and multiply it times 52 weeks and increase the days to the days in which the building isn't open at all. On holidays, it's not open, Christmas, it's not open, New Year's, it's not open. Good Friday, I mean, there's 7 days, extra days above 52 times 123 that the lights are on. And the building's completely, and the building's full.
Thank you. Old business, possible revisions to ethics ordinance. I did put in your packets tonight a portion of a research and information services municipal toolkit that Connecticut Conference of Municipalities has made. And it is dated March 2015. And what I did was I copied the table of contents for you, and also copied a recent, toward the back, there's an introduction to the kit, and then toward the back of your packet, the Municipal Ethics Commissions, there is a Office of Legislative Research report. The whole kit itself is a couple hundred pages long. They cite all the statutes, they cite some
of the ordinances used by other towns, and go into quite a bit of a discussion on municipal ethics. So I thought, as part of keeping the conversation going, I will attempt to forward the whole document to you. I don't know if your computers will accept it, because it is such a big document, but I'm also gonna send it to George Law, the chairman of the Ethics Commission. So what I thought you could do is perhaps look at this table of contents. If there's information that is something you would like me to copy for you, I'd be happy to do that, so that we can begin to take a look at how our code matches up to what is in the model codes, which is section 4 of this kit, and also matches up to some of the other municipalities that would be similar to us. Canton, which is a population similar to Portland, Branford, which is a little bit bigger, and Franklin, which is a very small town, are all their ordinances are in the kit. So if you could review this and get back to me, I will keep this on the agenda so we can continue. Fred?
Yeah, I did have since I requested it to be on the agenda, did have a few comments. I went back to see the question about whether the state of Connecticut was in fact going to enact an ordinance this year. And there was a bill proposed by the State Department of Ethics. There was a public hearing. There was testimony. The only testimony, I believe, in favor was the director of the agency. The rest of the witnesses who testified against it. Cost, who Portland was a member of, had submitted some testimony, and you have a copy of it there. Pointing out some of the things we talked about, one of the things, whether it would have a chilling effect on volunteers in the future. Basically, the language or the testimony was in strong opposition to the bill. Subsequently, the bill, there was joint substitute language on the bill, and it did pass in the committee, and basically that, what that language does is make it a task force. So right now, there will be a task force which is going to be meeting, if that bill passes, between now and the end of the year. And then at our next meeting, I took a look at the existing ordinance just to see, as I looked at it, what kinds of things I saw as possible problems. So I think that might be helpful too, if we have your copy at a subsequent meeting. We can take a look at some of the pages and sections and see if there are some concerns and possibly some corrections that can be made. I know myself, I'd be very happy if there was one language change, but I don't think I could get 4 votes for it, which would say that the plaintiff, in the case of a lawsuit that was brought against an individual, if the lawsuit was in favor of the defendant, the plaintiff would have to pick up the cost of the lawsuit to try to get at frivolous lawsuits. But that's, as I said, I know that there are differing opinions on that. So, anyway, that's my thought. If Susan will put it, you're going to put it on in the future, and then maybe we could get a chance to. That's helpful to review what you have, and I marked up my copy, and quite a few marks on it. With a lot of questions I had as to what it really meant.
Yeah.
First of all, what certain sections that I had questions. I'm looking. I said, well, what does this really mean?
I brought extra copies. Do you need copies of the ordinance, or you have it?
You got that task force thread that the state's doing, their charge would be to review all the towns, or do they go upon a complaint to the town?
They, the task force is take a look at everything, I think.
So they're gonna look at every town? Is that their charge?
Probably not, but they're gonna pick it. I think what normally happens is their legal staff gets involved in this. They have legal staff, whether it's OLR
Yeah.
or one of the other agencies, one of the other commissions, and they would take a look at some of the, I'm sure they'll be looking at some of the towns that have ordinances. There's some that do not. I mean, there's some towns without an ordinance. I wonder too whether the ordinance should apply to everybody. That's another issue, whether it's a little too broad.
Didn't the state mandate that we all have ethics in place?
They talked about potential, they didn't.
Oh, they never-
Yeah, they never adopted.
Never adopted
That's
that?
why, that's why the bill came in from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they had one
And, you get into subpoenas and it gets to be very technical, very legal when they get to the, to drafting the bill that the agency put in had 32 pages in it. So, 32, 33 pages, and much like our ordinance, and it got into the penalties. The point is, I think everybody would, wants everybody, who serves certainly, volunteers their time, and they want to do the right thing and be ethical, but the point being, we want to make sure we don't create a situation that inadvertently penalizes people.
Right.
That's my concern.
Thank you, Fred.
Well, thanks for that, Susan.
Okay,
That'll be-
good.
yeah.
We'll keep it on the agenda. The next item, letter B, land acquisition, Middle Haddam Road. We have not received, as of yet, the, phase one. We do expect it within 2 weeks, which will tell us any environmental concerns. And so until we get that, I can't really give you information, but I certainly will bring that forward. So the town meeting date that we have tentatively set, I don't know if we can keep that date. It depends on the phase one report and whether there'll be additional work necessary based on that report. So I just wanted to give you an update on that.
Did we post that yet, that
No,
date? Okay.
I did not.
Okay, for that reason, yeah.
Right.
All right.
And, we will know as soon as I get the, phase one, I will let you know, and, proceed. I, will move on to appointments to boards and commissions. I have none tonight. Does any other member?
Not right now.
No appointments tonight. Next would be the grant assignment certification that I mentioned a little bit earlier. I will read it. It's whereas the town of Portland is participating in a consolidated, application for state of Connecticut 13B-38BB elderly and disabled demand responsive municipal grant program through the Middletown Transit District. Now therefore be it resolved that the municipality of the town of Portland hereby assigns its grant apportionment from the state program to Middletown Transit District who will coordinate the operation of service. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?